I took her to Mr. Biggs. We finished 5,000 naira. You guys do not understand 5,000 naira at that time. 5,000 naira at that time, I think my house rent was 12,000 or 18,000. So that you understand what 5,000 naira was. So 5,000 naira is probably the equivalent of maybe 50K, 100K. It was a lot of money, at least to me, right? As where I was as at that time. And after the E3, of course, I asked her out, and the answer was yes or no. Yes, no, yes, no. Well, the answer was a yes. A fat yes. I'm not sure any guy has ever taken her to Mr. Biggs as at that time. So it was a fat yes. And I thought we were dating. I didn't know that was my money that ran that romance as of that particular day. You know, the next time I was trying to reach her, I noticed there was this cold shoulder. You know, oh, I'm busy, oh, this. So I went to her house, and I thought it was a joke. We were talking, and she said, well, I'm waiting for my boyfriend. So because I thought it was a joke, I said, who is he? Said geology 400 level. I knew there was level. Remember, we are both pre-degree. Then in those days, we say pre-degree is like you are half in, half out. You are not even a student yet. That's the mindset we had. Now, for her dating a 400 level geology is one of the, like, you feel they're intelligent. You know, student, medicine, law, geology. Who else went to Suno? Huh? Was economics that strong? I'm not sure. No, statistics in both. No. Pharmacy, thank you. Pharmacy too was like, yes, your head is correct. These are special, special grade. Cut the long story short, in fact, hours later when I saw that it was reality, I started apologizing to her. That was the end of that relationship. It takes money to run romance, bottom line, right? Money makes it easier for love to be strengthened, for romance to be strengthened. If we are to do romance in Lekki Conservation Center and we are to do romance in Maldives, I can assure you, my young sister, there's a difference, right? Maldives is better. I just returned from there with my wife in August, and I can tell you the romance was stronger than the one in Nigeria. Absolutely strong. But for you not to have money, what it does is it makes love difficult, particularly in marriage. Because what we are talking about here means the landlord is coming to ask for rent and the rent has not been paid. Yet you have an husband, or you have a wife, or you guys, whatever you put in your situation. I remember I used to stay in a house and I was owing rent. The landlady would wake up in the morning and start singing. You know, all those kind of devilish song of Olori Buruku that, I mean, and you know she's talking to you. Now imagine being married in that situation. And that's why I respect my wife a lot, because she's been through a lot before we got here. Right? Been through a lot. So it's difficult. It's not like you don't love that person. I'm not making sense at all. But things are a lot easier when there are not too many money matters, children's school fees. You needed to pay again. And guess who faced most of those harassment? It's the women. Right? You are the one that take the kids to school, and principal is saying they must not come back without paying school fees. And then the children are coming back and say, Mommy, they chased us out. Mommy, why are we poor? Mommy, I was born poor myself. I was born in Maiduguri, the northern part of Nigeria. And I really, really do not want to see poverty again in my life. If I don't wish poverty on my enemy, right? And today I want to share with you, how do you build family finance in the area of real estate using family network? Your network determines your network. Next slide. Your network determines your what? Come on, one house. Your network determines your what? Your network determines your what? Net worth. What we mean by that is that if you know Dangote, you are likely to get a contract worth millions. And I'm not talking about knowing him from distance. He's your best buddy, best friend. You are very close. You can call him, he will pick. You can go to his office. Am I saying millions? Billions. That one is guaranteed. Just because you know who Dangote is. So who you know determines how much wealth you're able to command. And I'll give you a typical example. I shared this story. I had a billionaire friend. 2016, I made up my mind. Anybody who will be my friend this year must be a billionaire. So one of them came to my house, and it was January of that year. And I had felt, I always feel January is the worst month. There's no money in January. You're often broke. I don't know if you have that feeling too. And that was my feeling too. So I remember, if I had mentioned January, before he said good news, right? He said we just got 2 contracts approved. One is 4.5 billion. The other is 3.5 billion. He said the alert that blows phone is the type of alert I've been receiving. He said the first alert was 400 and something million, just as mobilization fee. Okay? But guess that's not even the point in this story. The next thing was, now he was asking, I need this person, I need somebody that can do this, I need somebody that can do this, I need somebody who can do this aspect of the contract. And some of the aspect was mentioning 500 million, some other aspect will cost 1 billion. You see how rich people share money on table. Meanwhile, we're on table eating chicken. And I remember that day I said, I wish I knew construction, because there was none I could take. Pastor Neil, of course, was, I could do this, I could do that. Me, I was new to construction that time, and there was none I could take. And it dawned on me that this is how rich people share money. Because what has brought money to a rich man is a problem, actually, that needs to be solved. Am I making sense at all? And that requires certain expertise, certain skills to solve it. And once you're able to solve it, automatically you're able to attract money. But the first question is, do you have such people in your network? Do you have wealthy people in your what? In your network as a family? So I'm Stephen Akita. We started our company 13 years ago with 1,000 naira, and we're going to become a multi-billionaire corporation in US, UK, Dubai, and in Nigeria. Next slide. So we're into real estate, agriculture, logistics, e-commerce, and so on and so forth. Several awards. Next. Next. Let's move on. Let's move on. Obviously, you still don't know how to sign in this. Next. This is not a slide. Joshua. Move to the next. Is this the slide? Okay, go back. So 8 real estate investment opportunities. I should write this down. Right? Number 1 is land banking. Number 2 is real estate investment trust. Number 3 is real estate brokerage. Number 4 is real estate development. Number 5 is office rental. Number 6 is apartment rental. Number 7 is joint venture. Number 8 is commercial real estate. These are like 4 streams. So in the next 3 days, I'm going to be talking about, today I'm going to look at brokerage as a source of raising family wealth. Tomorrow, I'm going to be talking about land banking. And then on Sunday, I'll be talking about rental income, particularly apartment rental income. That will be the focus on on Sunday. Now, remember, tomorrow and Sunday is going to be online. How many of you have registered for this event online? Okay, if you've not, please go and register online, because tomorrow is a webinar and we're not, even this wasn't supposed to be physical. Next, please. So how to successfully use your family network to raise real estate what? Capital. And that's what we're going to be looking at today. How to successfully use your family's network to raise real estate capital. Next. Now, know, love, and believe in your what? In your product. That's number one. Know, love, and what? Believe in the product that you're selling. Now, here we are looking at you as a family can look for a real estate company that you trust, and you can sign up as a property broker with them. However, don't stop there, and this is very, very important. Once you sign up, the next thing is also buy property with them and get a receipt, even if you are paying in installment. People do not trust anybody who is selling property to them who has not invested. Can I say that again? People don't trust you if you're asking them to come and buy property that you have not invested. I tell people, a lot of those who work with me always ask that question, like, you sell easily. I say the reason is because they know I'm the owner of the company, which means I've invested in that property. Am I making sense at all? In other words, my company has invested, which is still through me, isn't it? As a result, I have skin in the game. You are an employee or you're a broker, and the level of trust is what? Is low. Because that's the mindset. It's easy psychology. But when me and my wife are reaching out to another family friend and say, good news, so we just acquire a plot of land with one company called GText. And then you show them maybe a receipt or whatever, maybe the contract, right? The contract is enough. They won't know whether you finish paying or not. But guess the next thing they will be asking you, how can I also buy? I don't know if you agree with me. And that way, it's easier for you to get 10 people to buy from you in a matter of weeks. In a matter of weeks. And when I always advise couple, your commission shouldn't be used to put your children in more expensive school yet. It should be used to finish paying for your own what? Apartment or your own house or your own. Because remember, if they are giving me 10% commission on what? On land. If I bring 10 clients, what has happened? I'm done paying, right? One house, do you understand what I'm saying? I love response, guys. By the time 10, I'm done paying, isn't it? So if it's a house, 5%. By the time I bring 20 people to buy, what happened? I'm done paying for mine, isn't it? And like I said, it's a lot easier if you are doing it as a family, as a couple. Hardly can you be a couple in a community and you don't have another family, 2, 3, 4 family that are like your own people there. Am I making sense at all? So how do you do that? Another strength that couples have and families have that people don't know. Do you know that when you go and visit wealthy people as a couple, there is a special attention given to you than if you go as an individual? I don't know if you agree with me. There's a what? Special attention. There's a level of respect they give to you. In fact, if I respect you, you know what I do? I go with my wife for the event. The proof that I respect you or you are special to me is that I come with my wife. My wife don't go out anyhow, right? If you show up, it's the proof that you are special, right? And you could do that as couples. Some of you are probably, you just got married. It's one of the secrets you can do. As you're going to meet some of the wealthy people in your network, they'll probably even be asking you questions. Now that you are married, invest or What do you say? Good news, sir. We just got a what? A plot of land. The first, where? With social company. You see how your network determines your what? Your net worth. Right? And the question is, how do we get one? You know, sir, they are a credible company, very nice. I think I will tell their marketer to reach out to you. Or I will see how you subtly are able to then market what you're selling. Are we getting value at all? Are we learning? Yes, sir. Okay, next. So know, love, and believe what you sell. And one of the ways to show that you believe in what you're selling is that you also buy yourself. Okay, you also buy yourself. Number 2, develop your selling skill. Develop your what? Everybody shout it. How do you do that? Number 1 way to do that is not to sell. Number 1 way to build your selling skill is not to sell at all. You are really not supposed to be a salesman. In fact, selling pisses people off. Nobody wants to be sold to. So, what should you do? Anybody? What do you think you should do? Training. Education is one of my biggest secrets. I don't sell. All I do is to educate. That's my job. I educate you. I take my time. I do my research. I analyze what is the benefit of the product I am selling to the customer. I put myself in the customer's position and I start doing analysis. What are the benefits? I start listing them out. And then I do a seminar on it. And it's natural. If what I am asking you to invest in makes sense, I do not need to beg you before you what? You invest. Are we learning at all? It's natural. You struggle to sell when you don't understand that your job is to educate. Just educate. Just teach. I did a short video today. I'm not sure I've posted it. And I said, what do you see? Everybody, can we see the window? Can we all see the window? What do you see? And I get answers. Huh? Water? What else? Huh? Houses? What else? Huh? Boat cruise. What else? Huh? The sky. What else? Didn't you notice the water is dirty? Huh? Did you see? Yeah, here I can even see plastic, a lot of waste, right? But what is shocking to me is that you guys are not seeing the money here. I'm going to post the video on Instagram. You soon see. I said, what I see here is an opportunity to clean up this water and charge a token. You know this water can be clean. And you charge a what? A token. That's what I'm seeing. I am seeing JV, joint venture, because I'm seeing houses, some other places that are still small houses that they've not built towers like this one, sir. So I could go meet the owner and say, let's do joint venture. You don't need to put a story. You own 4 story, I own, you just share it. You own 8, I own 12, or you own 6 story, I own the other ones. So the problem about oftentimes when we are selling is that we are not selling the money-making opportunities in the product and services we're talking about. And oftentimes that is what really attracts people to you. That's what gets anybody to say, I'm interested in doing something with you. When you look at this and you can see beyond money and you can see, wow, can we put our hands together for Pastor Kingsley and his beloved wife? Okay. Like I told you, if a man brings his wife, it's a special occasion. You're welcome, sir. Right? So, you are supposed to focus on what? Seeing the opportunities. So, a good salesman doesn't sell, really. And as a couple, and you're trying to build wealth, you shouldn't focus on selling. Show the opportunities that they can see. Next. Okay? Number 3, have a mentor. Mentoring is a brain to pick, an ear to listen, a push in the right what? Direction. I wonder why people are married and they don't have a marriage mentor. The one that makes sense to me is that people don't have financial mentors. They don't have business mentors. See, people start business, I'm going to start real estate. Who is your mentor in real estate? What's the big deal? In Nigeria, we can just start, I know somebody, he started real estate, made money. That's not how it works. Are we together now? Have a mentor that has made money in real estate to put you through. So you must get people who are doing well in a field and say, show me how to do this. I want to learn. I want to know how I can take it to the next level. So as you start the journey of building wealth as a family, have a mentor. And this is one of the reasons why I decided to bring, marriage experts to talk to you guys, right? How do you put together your finances? How do you share money? Do you do joint account? Do you do separate account? All those things, they are the expert. My own is, how do you make it in the first place? Okay, that's my own business. How do you make the money? But it's important to understand that it takes a lot of mentorship, a lot of coaching to be guided in the right direction. Does this make sense at all? Number 3, or next. Okay? Go all out and what? And sell. Now, one of the things that I can't stand is that people know how to beg, people know how to borrow, but they can't sell. I can't stand that. Right? I can't stand that. You can borrow money sometimes and not even return it. But you can't go and meet somebody and say, I have a product, it will benefit you, kindly buy. Many of the real estate companies that you are seeing today is owned by husband and wives. You will see, sometimes the husband is the administrative one, the wife is the come and buy. I know one now, I'm not going to mention their name. The wife is we sell this, come and buy, go in, 2 units left. While the husband is the administrator, who is able to say, no, this is how we do it, this is how we structure the deal. Am I making sense at all? One of the best ways to build wealth, to make money, retain money, and transfer money to the next generation is through real estate. It's through real estate. But you have to be hungry to sell. There's nothing to be ashamed of in selling. One of the things I tell people, every one of us is selling. Right? I know if you are Christians here. Can I see hands of you? You're Christian. Okay, put your hands down. When last did you go on evangelism if you're a Christian? Let me see your hand. Evangelism. Okay. Which church do you attend? The church I attend every day, you must do evangelism. Okay? Raise your hand if you go to evangelism. The last 1 week, 2 weeks. Okay, good. Now, if you can do evangelism, you can sell. I don't know if you agree with me. You can sell. In fact, I picked up my courage to sell through evangelism. Because I gave my life to Christ as a teenager. So the first thing is you do evangelism. Right? And I used to be quite shy to talk to somebody. I just was a shy person. But gradually when I started business, it was the same approach to evangelism I had to bring into what? Into business. And we're all selling. This morning, you must have sold today, you must have sold not less than 3 products. Some of you was toothpaste. You mentioned to your friend, oh, I just finished brushing my teeth or I use my clean. You've just marketed. Some of you say, I'm taking Coke. You've promoted Coke. Neuromarketing. Right? I don't know if you have read the book Biology. Right? Buyology. Right? How many of you? Let me see your hands up. Nobody? Matter you have. Okay? Please get that book, right? It's a powerful book that taught you about how to use. Let me give you one of the stories in the book. Now, in the 70s, Pepsi did a research. They had 2 white cups. One was having Coke, the other was having Pepsi, but they didn't mention which one. So just the cup A, cup B. And then people came to taste, and they said, tell us which one tasted better. After that research, they discovered that most people said they prefer what? They prefer what? Pepsi. That Pepsi tastes better than Coke. If you still try it, just that the thing plays games on you. I think Pepsi tastes better. So, but that research proved that Pepsi announced to the world that they are taking over. Right? 2000, 2005, 2002, Coca-Cola was still number 1. So this book, they did a research on what happened. So they had these machines that could check the brain activity, and they decided to put it on people's. So again, cup A, cup B, and the person said Pepsi tastes better. They now brought the labeled one, and guess what happened? They said Coke. The same person said Pepsi, said Coke tasted better when he saw the label. But this time around, they had machines to show what was going on in the brain. And they saw that as soon as he saw the label of Coke, the emotional part of the brain override the rational part of the brain and told him to pick Coke. Because he has been wired since he was probably since you're a baby, Coke. Same thing Indomie, they do with Indomie. Now, I have learned to use this same method. If you're on my BlackBerry or you're on my social media, I do this a lot. I keep posting what I do till I enter your subconscious and you do business with me. Because when I learned that, I learned no longer to be ashamed of being consistent with advertisement. For example, you're watching a football match of 90 minutes. How many times do they show you the Coke advert that is their main sponsor? How many times? Minimum 4, the main sponsor. Why do they show you once? Some people say, no, you are disturbing me, you are doing it. No, it's called neuromarketing. As you do it again and again, it begins to, sometimes people even insult you. Guess what? The day they need your service, they call you back and say, hey, are you still doing that business? I don't know if you remember. But meanwhile, they are the ones saying you disturb me all the time. Because your name is now synonymous. Does that make sense to that product? Next. So let's go more practical now as we begin to wind down. How do you take action in this particular conversation we are making? Right? Number 1, you can join the GTEX program where you're able to sell property as a family and you earn a commission, and we give 10% direct commission and 5% indirect commission. Now that becomes an extra income for your family to be able to build wealth through that. And you can join on the website. Where's the website? These are like the commission structure. Go back, next. No, I told you, Joshua. Where's the link? Next. Joshua, I told you the link to sign up. Okay, so register on this website, www.portal.gtexhomes.com. Very easy process. Once you're joining, just put sign up, not register if you're already. So sign up, next. And then you're able to. Why not just put it on Google Slide and just move left and right? Okay, so this is the process. You put your name, your middle name. Now, the bank details is usually where we transfer your commission to. So you put your bank details there so your commission can be sent there. Next. Okay, and then you get this message, congratulations. However, you check your inbox, you have the link for you to be able to introduce other people. You also have the link to join our WhatsApp community, where that's where you get a lot of product and mentorship. And you also get a link to be able to download flyers, brochures, and things like that. Next. Okay, so this is like the message you're going to get in your inbox, right? And with that, you can join the community and do all you need to do. Next. Okay, next. So these are just, so in Nigeria, we give 10%, 3%, and 2%. In housing, we do 5-2-1. In Dubai, we do, is it 2.5? So in Dubai housing, we do 2.5. Direct commission, and the 1% indirect, and 0.5. Next. And so, and you're on your way. These are some people who have earned their pay. And you can start your journey, like I said, easily that way. And it makes your journey a lot easier. So how many of you will start your journey of at least using the network, your family network, to start building wealth in real estate? How many of you will start? With this, you don't need money. Do you agree with me? You can easily start. Tomorrow, we are going to look at land banking. Right? How do you build family wealth through what? Land banking. I mean, House on the Rock is there. I was sharing with Pastor Kingsley how Pastor Paul bought that place for 25 million, right? And left it for 10 years. And 10 years later, the value was 3 billion naira, right? A property of 25 million becoming 3 billion. But there are rules to it. First of all, how do you know the right location? How do you protect the land for 10 years? From encroachment and so many other things we look at. Then on Sunday, my own session, I'll be looking at rental income. How do you, as a family, buy properties and you rent it out and make income? There are several people, for example, that have helped to start earning family income in Dubai. I have a woman, she and her family, they have 3 properties now, right, in Dubai, and they get rental income on a monthly basis. So models like this is how you practically are able to start building wealth. And I hope you take action. So today we are having Pastor Kingsley and his wife. Tomorrow we are going to be having Pastor BC and then Praise Forward. And then on Sunday we'll be having Reverend Albert Oduwole. Now this event is online. It's not a physical class. We only decided to do this 9 minutes physical. So our main audience are online. We have over 2,000 people watching us online. So please, I don't know how we'll do the question time to be able to take our audience online. But tomorrow and Sunday is online. So we just felt we had training since morning here. Why not just make, and just still have something, at least some people physically with us. And I want to thank those of you waiters this morning, and you are still here. Okay, put your hands together for yourself. And can we welcome Pastor Kingsley Okonkwo for, are you using a slide or just want to? Just talk. Okay, so we'll do 45 minutes talk, then maybe the 3 of us will take questions. But please have a wait for us to be able to take on Zoom, because that's really where our audience are. Once again, please standing ovation for Pastor Kingsley Okonkwo. I'll just join you when you are done. Can you help them with, just help them with the chair? You can sit, why not? We need 2 microphones. Can you bring a second microphone? Can we get a third? Or you have just 2? No, there's one more. Is there a phone I can use to be checking the questions? Huh? They see that's the camera streaming. They can see. All right. Good evening, everybody. All right. What's this one? Okay. All right. All right. All right. Thank you. Hey. Okay. I hope you guys have having a good time. Yeah. Dr. Stephen is the kind of person that can speak all day because I listened to a bit of the
morning sessions. Very powerful, and that's the amazing thing. What he's speaking about is so practical and so real. So it's not boring. It's something you can relate to and apply immediately. I particularly enjoyed the part you talked about, the elevator speech. You talked about location, going to the right places. Phenomenal. And how you have started playing golf. Location is important, to be honest. The kind of places you go, then the elevator speech, then they give a gift. Very important, because most rich people or so are used to people coming to ask them for things. So when you come and you are bringing something, you automatically get audience, automatically, because everybody that comes to them is trying to get something. So I'm just trying to, recap. I enjoyed that session. So we're glad to be here. Thank you, Dr. Steve, for inviting us to be a blessing. I'm here with my beautiful wife. All right, she can be shy, but when she starts talking, you will enjoy it. So I'm glad. Money and family is very important. Most of you know that I'm very particular about family. It's part of what I believe God has called me to do. Interestingly, on that area I'm very passionate is money. As a matter of fact, when we were going to go on television, I wanted to go on television on the basis of teaching prosperity and teaching finances. It was God that said, no, do marriage. But I thought, I love to teach about finances, not teach about faith and things like that. I said, don't worry, stay with marriage, And so this topic, merging, talking about money and marriage is something I definitely like. I usually tell people, statistically speaking, money ranks as one of the things that causes crisis in marriage the most. All right, money ranks very, very high as one of the things, the leading cause of divorce. There are many dynamics that can affect a marriage, but money is, one of the ones that, it has a lot to do with whether the marriage will make it or not. It has a lot to do with it. There's one member of the family that must attend all meetings. No matter the decision you want to make in the family, there's one member that must attend. His name is money. You must attend. You can't have the meeting and omit him. You can't have the meeting without him, because we're trying to decide where are we going to live. Money must have a say. We're going to decide what school our children go to. Even if we're going to decide when are we going to get married. Two of you can't agree, except money agrees. So I call him the member of the family that must attend all important meetings. He must attend. All right. So what do you have to say?
Okay, so I think that when you have seminars like this, one of the reasons why there's such a strong echo, right?
Yes, and it was okay at the beginning, so I don't know what you touched. When I started talking, it was okay, but it's echoing now.
Okay, I think why marriage is so important is sometimes choosing the person that you want to marry is also like choosing how you want to turn out financially. And I know that a lot of people don't think about that, but the person that you marry has the ability to either make or break you financially. I've seen women who are stars in their own right, have the drive to make money, have the capacity, the mental capacity, the physical capacity to make money, and yet they marry someone who is content with being ordinary. And they didn't think that was a big deal until they got married. And I'll give you a practical example. Because we counsel a lot, we have a ministry that handles marriage counseling professionally. And there's a particular, one of our couples who I really wonder sometimes I wonder if she had married someone, the woman in particular, if she had married someone different, if she would have been better. She's a business magnate. When people are, they literally breathe selling. She's thinking selling. She's making that kind of money. But every time she has a dream I don't want to rent my offices. I want to buy my property. I want to do well. Her husband has a dream of, well, okay, wow, you like to shine too much. And you may look like a small thing, but especially if you want to be happily married, that can be a concern. Because I'm going to speak from Bible. I'm a pastor. Apart from that, I'm a Christian. The Bible says that two cannot work together except they be agreed. And the funny thing is, if you are a saver, you are most likely going to marry a spender. So the dynamics of being able to manage yourselves is so key. So I know, because sometimes when seminars like this are going on, people are wondering, why would you throw marriage into the middle of this? One wrong choice in the person you marry can totally wreck you financially.
Yes.
It can wreck your dreams of being great. It can wreck your finances. All the person has to do is keep making poor choices. And because two of you are one, whether you like it or not, it will affect you. Even if you say you're not running a joint account, and I'm sure we will get to that very soon, whether you should have a joint account. Even if you say you're not running a joint account, if the person keeps making poor financial choices, if you're married to them, guess who is going to bail them out? Guess who they're going to pick up if they come to arrest them and they don't see them? So that's why this is so key. It's not just about making the money, but the person that you get to spend the rest of your life with determines whether you keep that money, whether you multiply that money.
Yes, and when you are picking that person you marry, you need to check their financial goals and their financial habits. All right, you must always check their financial goals and their financial habits.
And financial mindsets.
Yes, their financial mindsets, really. You need to check those things, because when emotion is interesting. I like what Dr. was saying, Dr. Kita was saying. He was talking about how people that are in big business realize that people spend emotionally, not rationally. So that's why, even when we do marriage counseling and people want to book for counseling and they don't want to pay, all right? Because yes, as a church, our church counseling is free. But if you want professional service outside of church, we charge. It's paid for. So some people call us, so I'm going to pay. We say, you see, I tell my staff, I say, don't worry about this kind of people. You see, it's an emotional decision. They will not go to a photographer on their wedding day and say, I'm going to pay for a photograph. No, they see value. They will not go to their baker and say, make my wedding cake for free. You see, somehow they've not attached emotions and value to counseling. They've attached it to light, to decoration, to cake on my wedding day. So you need to be able to know that person that you are going to marry, know how they react and relate with money, because you are going to live with this person for the rest of your life. Like my wife was saying, their lifestyle is going to affect you. There's no way. That's what marriage is actually. It's two people becoming one. It means you are going to inherit all assets and liabilities. That's what's going to happen. So you have to make that marriage decision not an emotional decision. It must be a practical decision. It should almost be like a business partnership. You would not enter into a business with somebody because they are handsome or beautiful. That's not why you're going to buy property from them. That's not why you're going to go into a JV or a partnership with them. It has to be based on some practical things that will last. The mistake young people make is that they enter marriage purely on an emotional basis. Interestingly, there's nowhere in scripture, I'm a pastor, there's nowhere in scripture the Bible says you should marry because of love. All the Bible will tell you is to love who you marry. They will say marry who you love. There's no way you will say marry who you love. It is the Western world and romance movies and romance music that painted that picture. And you can check the statistics of how well their marriages are doing. Nowhere would they say marry who you love. No, they will say love who you marry, because the first love I talked about there is not the practical love, it's the emotional love. The other one is the reality love. The other one comes after the fact. By the other one, you are loving consciously because you have seen the person, how they are. Before that time, it's an emotional thing. You are not facing the reality. You're not checking what are their financial decisions. Don't marry just because they are cute or how you feel. And I'll say this to women particularly. In my years of counseling, women are powerful. Women are powerful. Women, I don't know how, doctor might have to confirm this, but When it comes to sales, women generally can enter places men might find difficult to enter. Women generally, I mean, if I say a man knocking at my door, say selling something, from us, I'm saying, they're not even buying. What do you want to say? But there's a pretty woman there, you don't even know, say, just come and tell us what it is. So I know generally women have the capacity, but the biggest challenge women might have sometimes is marrying emotionally. Because as a woman, one of the things that will impact your life the most is who you marry. It also applies to men, but I'm just saying, women have a way of limiting themselves by who they marry. Like, we have so many of these stories, like the one my wife talked about. You see a woman, high achiever, everything. She just married somebody that has bad financial mindsets, bad financial goals, and bad financial habits. Right? No drive. That's the goals, habits, and mindset. No drive. He's not dreaming as big as you are. So let your decision for who you marry be practical. Really do better. Sorry, we're getting feedback somewhere. What did you do differently? Everything was going smooth. Did you touch something?
Yes, from Zoom. It's from Zoom. Fix it.
Okay. Have you fixed?
Yes, sir.
Are you sure? All right. Hope I've not lost my train of thought. So, so let that decision be a bit practical. The Bible says 2 should be better than 1. There are people I've told they want to marry themselves. I've seen 2 of them. I said, don't multiply this thing. Because that's what you are doing in marriage. I said, don't multiply. 2 of you are doing too badly. You can't join this suffering together. You need to marry somebody who be better than you. I said, no, don't do it. It looks funny. I know it looks judgmental, but trust me, I've been in this game for too long to realize that marriage is not just an emotional decision. It's a practical decision because your emotions will go away. You'll be shocked. Emotions are just dressing. They are so powerful, but when they desert you, you won't believe it, and you'll be left to reality. And what will make you happy after the marriage is how that marriage is working practically. No more how you feel. Things like school fees will come. Things like house rent will come. Medical bills. You want to give birth. Reality will affect your feeling more than emotions. Is somebody getting what I'm saying? So, hey, you want to marry somebody, check them out financially. If they are always broke, always begging, always, owing, those are bad signs. Those are bad signs. My wife always say, don't marry potential, marry patterns. Patterns don't lie. All right? Don't marry potential. Everybody has potential. Nigeria has potential, doctor. Since they came back to me, I've been here in Nigeria has potential. We're the giant of Africa. I hope you have stopped saying that lie. Those are things I grew up hearing every day. If I was waiting for Nigeria's potential to strive, if Dr. Akine was waiting for Nigeria's potential alone to strive, thank God he's building a global brand. If it wasn't for that, we will not do anything. So don't marry potential, marry what? Patterns. Patterns don't lie. So you finished school 5 years ago. What have you been for 5 years? Market yourself. I'm not saying you have to be rich. I want to say, okay, I want to see what you have done with your life for 5 years. That would be a promise for what you can do or what we can do together in the next 5 years. Does somebody get what I'm saying? So check some of those factors. They are very important.
Okay, another thing I think that you should consider is the fact that managing money is just as important, if not more important, than making it. And the person that you marry affects how you manage money. A lot of men complain about the fact that their wives are spenders. Well, in my own case, it was the opposite. Pascal is
I'm the spender.
a spender. Are you really a spender? You're not a spender anymore.
I used to be a
spender. A huge spender.
Serious one.
And he has such great convincing power. So I always tell him that it wasn't a pastor, he would be a great businessman. So he would, he would make, and he was making money. So I want to give you practical examples. He was making, when we got married, we didn't have anything, to be honest. And if I say we didn't have so much, that would be like, we didn't have anything. It was so bad that when I got married, my parents bought everything I would need in the kitchen, so everything from microwave, deep freezer, gas cooker, everything you would need, pretty much, blend everything. But we couldn't afford to buy a cylinder to buy gas. So we had the gas cooker, we had the deep freezer, we had microwave, but we couldn't afford to buy cylinder. That's how bad it was. And we had moments where we didn't even have soap in the house.
Yes, we don't have
like, it was really bad because when I got married to him for the first 20 years in ministry, church wasn't paying him a salary. So we're living by faith. And even when we're writing books and everything, even that which was supposed to be his intellectual property, he was selling everything and putting it in the church.
Yes, let me hold your thought. So when we say we don't have anything, I was working, okay? Because somebody will say, well, that contract, what I said earlier on. No. There was potential. I started ministry from my parents' parlor. We're already in a big venue. So there was a pattern of I'm building something. I wasn't just rich. Because of course, yes. But there was proof that I was building something that had something to show for the few years I had worked. Okay.
But so when you say you were not rich, it's kind of putting it very mildly.
Yes, I had nothing because church was not paying me. They couldn't afford to pay me. But we were building something that had signs of growth. So there was clear pattern of.
So yes, first of all, he had a place to live.
Yes.
Which is important. He had a place to live. And so that also helped because at the time his father was a king. So he had moved to the village where he was ruling, their place, not village, their place where he was ruling. So the house was empty. So we furnished the place and moved in. We revamped the place and we moved in. So that was the first smart financial decision for me. The fact that we're not going to be paying rent because we wouldn't have been able to afford rent. And I didn't want a situation where I would be thinking my house will be beaten if every time landlord passes by, you are not sure whether it's coming to your house or you just want to pick something that they threw outside. You are just, you are in panic mode. So I didn't want that. So that was the first thing. Secondly, when I met him, he had a car. Okay. Yes. So that's what I'm saying, that there was clear pattern.
There's no time to give you the gist of how I got the car, but it's very interesting gist, but no time for that.
Oh, no, maybe you should. So I saw all of that. However, there was something I noticed about Pascal doesn't like small things. It has to be the best. And I think it has a lot to do with personality. So when you're also getting married, you need to understand the person's personality because that would affect your wealth too.
Yes.
So his personality is the kind that likes expensive things. He likes big things. He likes the best things. We wanted to get married, went to rent the hall. We're not like hall for where we're going to do wedding reception. We got there, they were showing us the hall. They told us it was 350,000. We're just thinking about 350,000, where are we going to get the money, that kind of thing. And then he says he wants to ease himself. So I'm standing in the hall, my husband goes downstairs. And when he gets downstairs, it's like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Who goes to ease themselves for 15 minutes? So I'm getting worried. I've not married the husband. Something cannot be wrong with him. So I went to look for him. When I got there, saw him. So they pointed the way to the bathroom. So I was trying to follow the path to find him. And then I get there, I see him and the person who wants to rent the hall from looking at dogs. So my husband had negotiated to buy 2 dogs, not 1, 2 dogs. And this is the reason. Number 1, they are pit bulls from the UK. The guy brought them from the UK. So they are pure breed. Only you should understand, pure breed. See, if you buy here in Nigeria, so that's what I'm saying, he has selling power. And then, okay, even if you're going to buy that, 1 dog was 40K. I won't forget. Yes. 1 dog was 40K.
This was 16 years ago. 40K was a lot of money. And for people that were broke, it was a lot of money.
So he said it was 40K. So everyone should think that he should buy 1, right? He says if he buys 1, that will be lonely. And even though he doesn't remember this, but he said this to me, that you know that when people are lonely, they tend to die quick. That the dog will die quick. So anyhow, we had a conversation, you can't be serious, you can't be serious. Lo and behold, we got married, came back from our honeymoon. First thing I saw in the house, those 2 pit bulls. He said it was wedding present. So I'm trying to explain to you the kind of expenses that my husband can incur. And then we're there one day, just out of the blues, my husband comes back with a South African boa ball worth 250,000. In his defense, he didn't pay 250,000 for it, but that's the worth. So he kept telling me that you need to understand. So I'm saying he was making money, but he wasn't really keep retaining the money. And I knew that he had the potential to be wealthy. But if we continue like this, we're not going to get very far. So that's what I'm saying. You need to know the kind of person. If you know that one of your weaknesses is management, you need to marry a saver. So in making your choices, that's what I say, don't make emotional choices. Don't just say, oh, I love him. We can make money, but we need to also think about the practical side of things. Love doesn't pay school fees. It doesn't pay house rents. It doesn't pay medical bills. Love is good only between two, and love is better inside a conditioned apartment. So you need to be very conscious of these things. You need to treat your marriage like a business. So getting married to him, I knew he was making money, but he wasn't managing it. And that meant that we were not going to go far very well. So I had to be the one who was a bit firm on our finances. Now, I always tell women, especially, that there's a way to marry great men. If you know, and the same goes for men, there's a way to marry great women. If you know somebody who is, you can see, because I could see clearly. I could see the potential. It didn't look so much like it at the time, but I could see the potential in this guy. I knew that it was only a matter of time with the right kind of patterns and the right help that we would be able to do it. So the first thing we did was that we agreed on a joint account. Now, we always advise this does not work for everyone. It should be the way things are done.
Yes.
That should be. But I also understand that human beings will be human beings. And you may be willing to do the right thing, but the other person has free will. I've seen situations where two people join an account, the man or the woman, whoever, brings in a lot of money, and then the other woman clears the account and runs off. Or clears the account and does one of these magic money fund something. And then we're in debt because our accounts are joined. So in those cases, I tell people, even if you can't do joint accounts, you must have joint accountability. We must be able to tell what each person is earning, what we are doing with the money, how we plan to spend the money, how we plan to make investments, how we plan, what portion of it is, are we supposed to give to the children? Are we supposed to save? Because truthfully, you can't spend everything that you have. You can't spend everything you make. So that was the first thing, because I knew that he needed me to assist him in saving. My husband would buy, let's not even go into that, because that's not what this is about today. But one of the things that was the turning point was the fact that instead of nagging him, and this is what I was saying about learning how to marry great men, instead of nagging him and he becomes resistant and he now decides, oh, is it because I even want you to see everything, and now starts hiding things, I started doing what I wanted him to do. So I started showing him what he meant to save. So anytime we bring money, so usually when we want to travel for vacation or anything, we split the money. This is your shopping money. This is my shopping money. Now we'll go there. Me, I'm not really materialistic. Once I buy even a net, I'll come back, won't buy anything for myself. I've saved the money. A few months down the line, he wants to make a payment for something, or he needs money for something. And then he just says, oh, he needs money. I say, I have, well, let me give you this amount. Yes, I have it. Why do you have money? Why do you always have money? And then it occurs to him that, oh, you always have money because you save. So this saving may not be a bad idea. Now, the real turning points came at some point in our lives. He was making a lot of money. And I was trying to get him to see that you need to save and make some certain investments. Yeah, he was investing, but not the way I felt he should. I felt he could do much better. So I started praying about it. And then the idea came that the same way he's taking money to buy things, if you take money, he's not going to be offended. So I would take money, and I started with, I'll just take 100K a week, take 100K. Because I knew he was making the money. The truth is, he was making it. So I'll take 100K a week, and and he wouldn't even ask me. Or he would say, they say you took money. Nothing now. Should be you took to spend. He won't even think about it. But I was taking this and saving it for him. At the end of 1 year, he asked for something. He noticed there was a pattern. Why are you taking this money weekly? And I said, the truth is, I was saving it for you. And I said, how much you have? When I told him how much I had saved that year, he says, as if this thing works. So he now got on board. And it now became so bad that now, even when we want to buy something, he's like, no. I'm like, no, we need to eat, sir. Saving is good, though. He will not look at the money. So this money is my money. Investment is good, though. This money is my money. So you carry the money, you invest it. This one, so why did you tell me to do this thing? Since I've been telling you this, you're not listening. So my point is, it's a partnership. You can't just stay and be nagging. You can solve the problem because the money belongs to both of you. There's nothing like it doesn't concern me. That's his business. That's her business. She doesn't want to make smart decisions. It involves both of you, and you have kids. So you have to start building a financial future for your children and start teaching your children about money as soon as possible. Let me not even jump into parenting.
All right. Thank you. I told you when she starts talking, she'll start flowing. I told you. Okay, so usually what happens in marriage are opposites usually attract. That's a natural thing that happens. All right. It happens normally like that. That means a talker usually marry a listener. Two talkers don't marry because nobody's going to listen to anybody. And two quiet people don't marry because nobody's going to talk. So usually a talker is attracted to a listener. All right. A spender is usually attracted to a saver. An outgoing person is usually attracted to an indoor person. That's just how it plays out most times. We're usually fascinated by what we don't have, not by what we have. So this is why white people want to come to Africa for safari. Because they want to see animals. We live amongst animals. There are cows, dogs, everywhere, lizard. We live among, we're not interested, but they want to come and see animals. So people are fascinated by what they don't have. So opposites usually, all right, attract. I don't mean opposite in values. I mean opposite in personalities. You know, like what I explained, a talker, a listener. So usually a spender marries a saver. So in our own house, I was the spender. You know, the only good thing was that I was also making the money. I had faith for big things. It's sad in a family where the spender is not bringing anything. He's just wrecking the family. You know, so that was what made our own a bit peaceful. Balance. Because I actually had faith and I believe in big things. Like you said, I'm a big dreamer. You know, so money always used to come in, but I used to blow it the way it comes in. You know, so I just discovered. So people ask who should run the finances. Whoever is a better financial manager should run the finances. All right, very important. Who should run the family finances? Whoever is better in managing money. And usually when you start, you might not know who is better because the spender doesn't know he's reckless. I didn't know I was reckless. Like you said, we have never, the money for the wedding secretary, we didn't even have it. But I booked 2 dogs. I didn't know I was reckless. I just thought this was normal. You see, sometimes marriage exposes your flaws. Yes. That's what marriage does. You think you're a great person until you marry. You think you're so nice and so caring. Until you marry, you see how selfish you are. You see how rude you are. And how impatient you are. So I didn't know I was reckless at all. So I was the spender, she was the saver. But like she said, incredibly, she was very patient and gracious about it. We never had a quarrel over it. She knew I was reckless financially, but she was generally patient. And she looked for ways to get my attention. So it's very important because sometimes people are too, impatient with each other. And that's what causes crisis in marriage. So she was great. She showed me, we have a course we do titled Dealing with a Difficult Spouse. One of the classes in that course is where we teach the person in the course that if you're dealing with a difficult spouse, sometimes you have to teach them how to love. The reason why they're not loving you the way you want to be loved is that they don't know how to love. So that's what my wife did to me. She showed me the benefit, not by telling me, listen, ladies, men don't hear from this ear. This ear for men is decoration. Okay, men hear from inside. It's women that hear from here. So this is why in most places that involve talking, is women that are there. Men like to do. Men change from here. The heart, the king's heart is in the hand of God is here. So she found a good way to reach me. Because just telling me I'm reckless, I wouldn't have agreed. But she showed me. Yes, it will sound rude. Somebody say, are you talking to me? So she showed me a more practical way of how saving was important. And, no matter how much you make, what determines your standing is more about how much you manage. So if some people feel they're not making enough to save, but that's not true. No matter what you're making, there's somebody making less than you and that is living very well also. Which means that whatever you are making now, you don't have to spend everything you are making. So you must come to that agreement in your marriage that we're going to manage. All right. We can never spend everything we have. Whoever is the better manager in the house should run the finances. Very important. All right. ShopRite, this ShopRite just across here. Those early days when it was very popular. And then I was on TV, so I was popular. So, and we always go everywhere together. So one man now met me on ShopRite. I said, Pastor, I watch on TV with He said, you say you're always with your wife. Where is she? I said, she's just in the shop. Me, I'm outside. She's in the shop somewhere. He said, He said, you left her alone with all the money. Now the guy said, he just said it without even thinking that he left her alone. I said, yeah. She will finish her money. I said, you see, many men have those mindsets. They have the mindset of don't show your wife everything. She will finish everything. That's not true. The problem is that you don't save just for saving. Let me say it that way. If you are saving just for saving, you will not save well. You must always save for a project. Save for something. It gives you more drive. It gives you more focus. Don't just save for saving's sake. Or something will always come and take the money. Somebody come and say, my mother is dying. Somebody say, no, say, budget your life. If you're the kind of person that you have people that always ask you for help, have a budget for that. Once that budget for that is exhausted that month, everybody can come next month. But have a particular amount you are saving, let it be saving towards something. Thank God you guys are in investment business, so I can't teach you that. You should know, you should have a goal of how much you want to invest in so and so, how much you want to raise. Let that be clear. And if you are the husband, for instance, and you have a spender wife or spender husband, depending on who you are, sell that vision to your spouse. The reason why many men try to hide their money from their wives, that she will spend all the money, is that you have not given her a reason not to spend all the money. If you sell a vision to a woman, the woman will even save more than you, any day, anytime. So you want to sell a vision that we want us to own properties. It may even start with just, let's own our own house. Let's imagine something at that level. Sell it to her and be like, honey, look, I've seen how your room will be. All right? Not the room where she necessarily, where she keeps her clothes. Women like clothes. I say, I've seen how your shoe rack from up to down. You know, if she's a makeup person, you say, I see that your table you do. Sell it to her. Once she catches the vision, she will save more than you. All right? So that's the point. Sell the vision. To whoever is the spender, let them connect emotionally with the vision you have for the finances, especially for things like your kids, things like your future, things like investments, just like the thing that Doctor shared today, how that House on the Rock bought their land 25 million and it's 3 billion. That resonates. I mean, imagine who would like to have 3 billion loose cash today?
How many years?
That would be nice. And 10 years from now will come, whether you invest or not. 10 years from now, it will still come. So you might either be at the same level or close to this 10 years from now, or you can be 100 or 1,000 times more, depending on how both of you plan your finances. So find out who is the better manager. Let that person run the finances. The other person should be humble enough to submit to that person's management skills. Today, I enjoy the fact that my wife taught us how to save. Now, me, I'm the major campaigner of saving and investing. I'm the major campaigner. Because usually when opposites attract, they go through 3 stages. At the beginning, they attract. Second stage, they frustrate. Third stage, they alternate. All right. So first stage, they attract. So I love the fact that, oh, you know, she's quiet or I talk, or she's a talker, I'm quiet. You're fascinated by the opposites. You know, I like the way he spends freely. Me, I can't spend though. At the beginning, the saver will admire the spending quality in the other guy. But as you marry, you'll now find out that I don't want him to be spending this reckless. It begins to frustrate. If he was the outgoing type, you like the fact that he's always going out, or he greets everybody. When you people get married, you say, must you greet everybody? You're delaying us. You do know these people. At the beginning, they attract. Second stage, it begins to frustrate you. At the third stage, you begin to alternate. You find out that the quiet person now begins to talk more. The talking person now begins to be quiet more. So it happens in finances also, which is what's going on in our own house now. Me, I'm the major supporter of saving now because I've seen the benefits. And there's something about having money in your account that just makes you more confident, more liberated mentally. You can make decisions without tension. You can make decisions, you know, feeling poor is worse than being poor. Did you get that? Feeling poor is worse than being poor. You see, if you are poor and you don't feel poor, you will soon come out of it. But even if you are not poor and you feel poor, you will give that energy. Energy is important. You will give the energy of I can't. You will give the energy of I'm broke. So when they mention some figures, before you even process it, you've rejected it. You've rejected, I can never afford it. Who told you? You might be amazed things that can happen. You might even have deals for people like you. But you've not even, your mind just blocks it off. Doctor talked about that again earlier today. Many people came to this island when there was nothing. The estate I live in, my uncle came and said they brought him to that place. And he was like, what's he coming to buy water for? It was water. He said, what am I coming to do here? Today, he came back to visit me. He said, this is an estate. He said, if he had known that when they came, when he saw this place, he left it and came towards Lekki Phase 1 and bought one plot. But the same person that owns the estate today came there, saw the water, and bought the estate. It's about what's going on in your mind. That's how you process everything you see. So if you feel poor, opportunities will be greeting you every day. You just say it's not for people like me. Meanwhile, it is your breakthrough. All right. So keeping working family finances, the biblical standard is for both of you to work as one. That is where the blessing actually is. Like my wife said, oh, yes, there's some peculiar cases where somebody is too reckless and you can't trust them with money. I get that. But ideally, the right thing is that husband and wife should be one financially. The blessing of marriage is that whatever two of you shall agree upon shall be established. It has changed our own life. There is nothing we have agreed about till today that has not happened.
Yes, and work towards it
together. As a team, it's going to come to pass. Many couples waste their time trying to win the argument instead of winning the agreement.
Yeah.
Very important. So you win the argument, you lose the agreement. I mean, you win the argument, you lose the agreement. It's better to lose the argument and maintain the agreement. It's very important. It's very important. So this is why when you marry, from the day you marry, start setting your financial goals. Yeah. If two of you agree, it must come to pass. So we'll do our closing remarks. We'll take some Q&A.
Okay, I think for me, the important thing is to always realize that there will be financial seasons in your marriage. There will be the seasons where there may not be as much as you want. There will be seasons where there will be an overflow. And what you do in that overflow determines what happens in seasons when you don't have enough. Or where you have maybe not, I wouldn't say you don't have enough, but you probably have a lot of projects in your hand at that time. So children are a project, and they are not a 2-year, 3-year, 4-year project. Once you have children, you're looking at least a minimum of 18 to 20 years. And then the cycle continues because they will give you grandchildren. And human beings usually even want to do more for their grandchildren than they did for their children. So that's a financial project for the rest of your life. Then, of course, there are other projects. Maybe you want to buy property, whether you're running a business, you know, there are a lot of things. So at those times, what you do when you had a lot determines, which is why we talk a lot about having financial goals from the very beginning. Have a plan. I don't really think that people should get married and not have a plan. What's your financial plan? What do you guys intend to do 5 years, 10 years, when the children are there? What do you want to leave to your children? What legacy do you want to leave behind? You know, so for me, being conscious of the seasons and knowing what to do per season will ensure that you guys have financial stability.
All right. Beautiful. My own closing remarks will be budgeting. So it's important to have a budget. It's part of what she was just saying. Have a budget. Start with honoring God. That's what I would advise you to. Because listen. I've been in many of these kind of meetings where the people talking are on a different level altogether from the guy on the street starting life. He can't see how he's going to make 1 million naira. He can't even see it. Start with God. All right. That's the first thing to do. Even when you are getting married, your husband or wife is not your source. God is your source. All right. Put your eyes on God. So my wife had that mentality, and I hope young girls here too have, because what we are dealing with in Africa is that most young girls have the mentality that a man will take care of me. You know, trust me, sometimes you, the woman, can even be the source, or can be the channel rather, that God will use to bring wealth into that house. But you have delegated that already to whoever you're going to marry, thinking that you should stay idle. Sometimes it's you. God actually has given the grace for money. I've met many women like that. I've preached for Madam Folosha Lakija. I preached in a meeting before. Imagine if she was talking like most of our young girls today, saying, a man will take care of me. She won't be all she is. Some of you have the grace for wealth. Don't delegate it. The same God that can make that man you're waiting for to rich can make you rich. The same God that there are opportunities that can make that man rich can make you rich. Same hard work that can make that man rich. So, and you saying you want to marry a rich man is you believing that he will be caring enough to share his money with you. I've seen many families where the man is rich, but the family is not rich. The money is not reaching down. He has many girlfriends, many side chicks, many nonsense he's doing. So he's sharing the money among everybody. So don't delegate that. See God as your source. You put in the work also. Don't say I'm going to marry a rich person. No, be rich. Say I want to be a rich person. It's better to say that. Then budgeting. All right, budgeting. Plan the basics. Your own welfare, the regular bills, savings, investments, children. You must budget and cut your spending to that budget. Don't just spend emotionally. All right. No matter what you're earning today, there's no reason to spend everything you have. All right. You will never come out of it without discipline. Then lastly, like I started with, trust God. Start learning financial principles, kingdom financial principles, because there are sometimes you need the breakthrough from God first before you can even start, practically working in these things. All right. There was a time of our life, it was going to be very difficult to even save because we couldn't even survive. All right. But we needed that favor of God. So start by honoring God, putting God where he should be. And you will find out that the sky is not even the limit. It's just the beginning. So I hope this was helpful.
So that's a question. If you have questions, raise your hand. Questions. All we've enjoyed is our no One, 2, 3, 4. One. Do you have any extra mic or have to share this with? Okay, let's.
Okay. So give him that. Okay. We'll share.
Good evening, Pastor. Good evening, thank you very much for this privilege. My question is talking of budgeting. Please give us figures like say 1%, 1 over 10, say 1%, say 2%, invest 2%, just like that, please. Thank you.
Vivian,
Do you want to go?
can you come and hold the mic so that you can
Not to go.
You go.
if they want a percentage? You want
All right. Yes. Okay. To be honest with you, everybody's level will be different. So
And needs.
and needs, what I mean, will be different. But generally, I would teach that you start with the tithe, which is 10% given to God. There's a way that helps the 90% to even go beyond what it will naturally go. You're actually setting the supernatural into your finances when you do that. All right. So aside that, definitely your savings shouldn't be less than another 10%. What you keep aside shouldn't be less. Now, if you are even very prudent and good at what you do, it should be more. But I mean, at a worst case scenario, another 10% should be saved. All right. Depending on how much free cash you have, there's a level you should get to. Money you are saving and money you are investing becomes two different streams because you have enough. Doctor mentioned that earlier today. There's some things money you should invest with that should be money you can let go of. That is not your survival money. So there's a flow you will get where the money you keep aside is even from the money you even invest with. But at the beginning, usually you don't have that luxury. So you must first save enough for the opportunity to invest. Okay, so it shouldn't be less than 10. Ideally, it should be about 20, but it shouldn't be less than 10, depending on your survival rate. Then basic utilities that never go away, everyday life, eating, transport, all that should have also a basic percentage. Again, this depends on what's your travel distance and the price. All right. Then things like rent. The beautiful thing about rent is that it never comes unawares. You know the date the rent will be due. So save something every month. Don't try to wait to have a bulk money. It's the mistake most people make, because let me tell you, emergencies always come. I tell people there are two things you should never pray about: opportunities and challenges. They always come, whether you fast or pray or not. These two things will come. Opportunities, they will surely come. Challenges, they will come. You can't pray them away. The only thing you can do is to prepare for them. But praying them that they will never happen is not true. COVID brought challenges, it also brought opportunities. Do you understand? If you are so fixated by the problems, you won't see the opportunities. So that's how it works. So those basic percentages, I feel, will help you. I can't give you a fix because I don't know your income and your expenses. But these things, these blocks must be there. All right? The savings, the running cost, the rent, things like that, then your investment money. And of course, then the ones that go to God. Like I said, you must put the supernatural, open the door for supernatural in your finances. Every great person will tell you there were parts of their journey that they were not responsible for. That it had to be a lot of things falling in place supernaturally. All right.
So my question is, what is your experience of the top qualities you look forward to for deciding a spouse?
Before deciding a spouse, do you want to start? All right, I have a full book titled "Who Should I Marry?" For me, I'm a Christian, for instance, so I generally check if the person is in Christ. So both of you having the same faith is important. Faith has a way of overriding and controlling what that person believes. Faith gives us like a yardstick, a boundary of what we can do or what we cannot do. So for instance, some religions allow people to marry more than one wife. So you can't come and put the guy in a box. If he's from that religion, he already has enough loophole to marry more than one woman. But if somebody is a Christian, for instance, it's clear what the boundaries are. So you can have a basis for discussion. Okay, so for me, both of you must be similar faith, very important. Not even just being similar faith, you must believe similar things. So the person being in Christ, equally yoked is one. Number two, I talk about character. It's not everybody you meet in church that you can marry. A church is a hospital. Very important. So everybody's allowed in church. We have 419 people. If a good church, we have 419 people in it. A good church will have prostitutes in it. If you have unserious people, it also have serious people. It's not a good church. A good hospital is not known by how many medical staff they have. It's known by how many patients are there. If it's really good, patients will be there. So that's how a church is. If it's really good, people that need salvation will be there. So you can't marry just because you meet in church. Check their character. What's their character like? All right? Are they kind? I meet people all the time. This is why I said what I said at the beginning. That don't marry who you love who you marry. Because the reason is because I meet people that say, Pastor, there's this girl I want to marry. You know, I love her so much, but she's rude. She spends all my money. She doesn't call me back. I said, those are the things itself you should be looking for that should make you want to marry. So I say that all the time. Oh, Pastor, there's this boy. I like him, but he beats me. Then he doesn't come for 1 week. Then he has other girlfriends. What should I do? You're putting the cart before the horse. What do you like about him? These are the qualities you ought to have liked to even decide to marry him. I mean, one lady told me, this one was real life. She told me that she's dating this boy. They were living together. The boy sent her out of the room to go and sleep in the parlor and brought another girl to in the same house. She asked me, what should I do? So this is what I'm saying. People don't know. Check their character. Do you like their character now? The way they talk to you, the way they behave, are they faithful? Are they reliable? That's what you check, character. Number three, compatibility. There are 10 things in my book, Who Should I Marry? I think it's out there. You should get it. I'm just going to stop at 3. And the third one is things like compatibility. Do we get along? All right. Not are we getting married, is are we getting along? Getting along is more important than getting married. Maybe people are focused on getting married instead of on getting along. Getting married is one event. Getting along is forever. So you can get married to this, why divorce is high. They've gotten married, but they're not getting along. Getting along is forever. Getting married is, we can get married this Saturday. What of getting along? We have to do it for the rest of our life. So are we getting along? Basic things. Or are we arguing every day? We disagree every day. That's a bad sign. It doesn't mean you won't disagree at all, but you're always arguing, always agreeing. So there are 10 of those points I mentioned. They're all C's. Christ, character, compatibility. They're all C's, 10 C's. Get the book out there to be a blessing. All right? They are put behind you. I hope we are getting some of the online people too to ask so that we can hear it from them.
Thank you very much. I don't know if I can ask us for a question.
I believe so.
You are a teacher.
Yes.
This question, I think, it's more of a business thing as mentoring and mentorship. So, start coming to discover is that, of course, on serious elements, who even if you make mentoring and mentorship free, they are never serious to just point in time. But then there are those who are serious, and then you just discover that it costs. Of course, we are aware that nothing is free. But then we discover in this current time that the cost of accessing serious mentorship and all of that is on the very high side. The other time, I was supposed to go for some mentoring stuff. I already agreed with the man. It was a lot of money, man. When I got home, I showed. It was the man was asking me to bring 500 that time. It's been some years now. So when I told my wife, I was putting the money together, and my wife just reminded me when to print the account and said, all the money you have in your account and the ones I have, said, don't you, I hope you have not forgotten that when she said that. He said, if you use all this money for mentoring, are you all right? Are you sure we are going to have anything? Or do you think money is going to come from that mentoring? So I'm just trying to find out the people that are just coming up like us. We are not saying it should be free, but we discovered that the cost is exceptionally high, maybe for our level. It may not be high for your level, sir. But then,
we answer him. Let Dr. finish. Can you, okay. All right.
And you are traveling for his question. Well, the truth, somebody said you think education is expensive, try it now. Right? There's just no way you can pay for value. For example, this event, I could have charged for it, and I will say people will pay. I have posted Robert Kiyosaki and Brian Tracy next month, and people are paying $250. But even though this was even made free, and how many people showed up? Right. So the point is, first of all, people don't value when it's free, and you also mentioned that. Then how do you then know those who value it? But either way, my time is expensive. It's my time. I have to charge for it. I tell people, I say, if I don't charge for the value I offer, how did I become so wealthy that you want to learn from? So I have to charge for it. I don't know of the person you're talking about, but if it's real mentorship, you'll have made the money back and a lot more by now. I remember a woman who said, I was going to give her 4 million to start supermarket business. 6 months later, it was gone. She lost everything, she couldn't maintain it. I said, who advised you to start supermarket business? Why supermarket? A friend was doing it. But if your friend was doing it, did you go and meet the friend to teach you that? The friend will not teach you. I said, well, how about taking 500K out of the 4 million to go and approach the same friend? Will she teach you that? She will not. I said, so why don't you think of it? In reality, what we call expensive is just being sometimes selfish. For saying that, just give me what you have, I don't care whether you think it's valuable or not. So you just have to still work around it. However, there are always ways to start somewhere. Right? Life is a businessman exercise. I read Dr. Kiyosaki's book, right? How much was the book? Today now you can afford to pay $25,000 to books. You just have to focus on the fact that it's a level. Start from the books. As the business right now, a lot of my books start there. Practice what is in the book and move to the next level. I have my latest book there. Start there. Someone was complaining, the book is $47. I said, if it was cheaper than that, I should have doubted the content there. Someone is teaching you millionaire habits, and you expect the book to be less than $47. I mean, you should doubt what is there if it's less than that. So start with the book and you move from one level to the other. For me, I've put over 1,000 videos on YouTube. But one of them includes 20 businesses, internet businesses, and over 7,000. So a lot of all these small e-commerce, how to start e-commerce, how to start, they're all there, and you can go watch those videos and start. I hope I answered. And one day you can afford the 10,000, 20,000.
And please let me add to that, because it's a very good question. There are many ways to get mentoring without this level you want to go for. If you're even finding it hard to afford that level, then look for other levels. Like Dr. mentioned, buy the person's books, attend all their meetings. Any of the principles, like for instance, now if you want Doctor to be your mentor, read his books, practice those things. You see, some people want companionship, not really mentorship. They want to hang out with you. They want to waste your time. They don't really want to learn. Mentorship is about learning. It's not to say I'm his friend. No, it's about learning. If the other ways you can get this knowledge without necessarily being in his face, get it. Read the book. Apply the things in the book. If anyone works for you, write him a letter. And say, sir, this is what I applied. This is how I work. Thank you very much. Every time you apply something works. See, every mentor, apart from the people that we charge, there are people that we are so happy with how much they are getting results. We think they are our ambassador. We will say, come and stand there. This is my boy. Do you understand? So there are many ways to get to this market. Don't wait to go and pay 500K. If you're even struggling to pay 500K, then maybe it's not for you. Go and look for other ways to show that you're a loyal protege. Watch all, tell him, be able to write him and say, I've watched all your videos. There are people that when they call me up and they start mentioning things, I know that this person has really watched. I spoke to somebody that's a Black American. By the time she mentioned all my messages, this is not even in Nigeria, but she has watched everything. She was giving details, not, you know, that this one is not that he was passing by. So that's what you need to show. Show me they're a good student. Every teacher is looking for that student that, America, there are people struggling to get American visa. There are people that America is begging to come. That's how life works. It's about value. So focus on building value in yourself. Your mentor self will be looking for you to say, this kind of boy I want to associate with. Yeah.
What would be your quick fix for those who are in relationship, marriage, as far as finance is concerned? What are the things? How should they start? Should they wait until they are married, they are popular, when they start, and then go plan out? How do we start off? What should they do when you are coming to that phase of getting like partner, getting married, getting sexual? Courtship, should you start before courtship, during courtship, or should you wait after you are into the marriage before you start?
Okay, I think that's a very good question, to be honest, because a lot of people are stuck in that cycle. They don't know exactly when they should start these things. I think courtship is a rehearsal period for marriage. So I wouldn't say, in fact, I insist, don't do a joint account until you're actually joined. That means don't do anything like that until you're married. However, you can be open and accountable with each other. And look out for the person's habits. It's in courtship you actually start to know whether this is the kind of person you can spend the rest of your life with. You're telling her you're trying to put money together to buy some property. And she's telling you, but all my friends are doing bone straight. Me, I want bone straight hair. You can tell that two of you are not going the same way. You can tell this is not the kind of girl that I can spend the rest of my life with, because the way she's thinking is not the way I'm thinking. If she's materialistic and you can't afford those kind of qualities at this time, then she's not the kind of person you can spend the rest of your life with. I also believe that when you're starting a relationship, it's important that you act the way you will throughout the relationship. So don't try to impress her with money if you don't have any. There's no point. Because most of the time, most girls or guys start to make demands on you because of the image they have in their head that they have formed based on what you have shown them. So if you come and when you want to take her out, you take her out, then you buy for all her roommates and her neighbors. So you pick anything you want, she picks everything, you say, well, take her, I know you have like 15 roommates. Of course, she's going to assume that they have money to throw around. So it's not really her fault. If she comes to you, she doesn't have more, and she says she wants the latest iPhone, and she's looking to you as her source, that becomes a problem. So for me, I would say when you're in courtship, yes, start to have those conversations, start to be accountable, especially if you really gotten close to, you are sure this person won't spend the rest of your life with. Let's start to have those conversations, start to, be open about how much you both earn and things like that. But until you are joined, don't join your finances.
I want to say thank you for this session. It's really a wonderful session. I am curious, but I just want to ask that in a situation where the progress of the lady, the husband sees that the trends, she's growing, she's progressing, he sees that the trend and he's not willing to give support. She speaks this way, she comes up with ideas. Always pushing me down. How was she, how was she you mentioned something like that. You can throw more light on how the situation was handled. Like why you mentioned something like that. So the man sit there and direct, and it's really possible.
Okay. Usually it's based on personality types. So usually a woman who's more driven would attract a man who is more laid back. And when he's more laid back like that, sometimes he's also insecure. Now, it is wisdom that you need. You need to be able to balance being a business mogul with being a wife. Especially if you're married. If you're not married, we don't have that problem. Pick from the beginning the right person. If you're in a relationship and the person is doing anything, carry your bag and be going. There's no, you have one life. You can't come and kill yourself and die. So you just carry your bag and be going. But if you're already married, now dynamics have changed. So you need wisdom to be able to manage. So for instance, that lady, one of the challenges we had was, even though in her business, in fact, her own husband wasn't supportive. It's just that he didn't have big dreams. When she had big dreams, he tried to cut it to size. But where she, at her level, if she needed to do a delivery, he would go and do the delivery. If he needed to help with the books, checking her accounts and everything, opening account, he was always there. But he didn't want to allow her grow. And I'm a Banana Island person. I'm going to buy a house in Banana Island. She has her plans. She's very clear. I'm not going to be in the kitchen. I'm going to have a cook. And his own is, why can't you cook? Why? I don't want to cook. I've done that as a young girl. I want to make enough money to have cooks. I'm not doing that with you. She had all those kind of things. Why can't you change the baby? I will pay for nanny. I will work hard and earn to pay for a nanny and all that. But he had cultural views of how a woman should always be in the house. She should cook all his meals. She should, So we had to come. We had to talk to her, because one of the first challenges was she would always say, "My business, my business, my business. I have dreams for my business. I have plans for my business." And what he was hearing was, that means me, I don't have work I'm doing. That means what I'm doing is not valuable. That means, so she always used to talk down on him. Even the way she used to talk to him was disrespectful. Men and women like respect, but men need it. Every woman I know really likes respect, but a woman will pick love over respect. Even if you're talking to her anyhow, if you are treating her well, you are giving her, she will be okay. But a man, no matter what you are doing, if you don't respect him, there's problem. So you now need wisdom. There are some things you even tell him. If you can tell a man to go and sit down and shut up respectfully, he will sit down and shut up and not even know you told him to sit down and shut up. But most times when women are that driven, they usually don't know how to manage themselves well enough to be able to carry the man along. So number one, if you're in that situation, is a lot of respect. You're going to have to give the man a lot of respect, a lot. You have to make him still feel like the king of something. Like you say, he feels threatened. He feels threatened because he feels he's not delivering on this area where he should be. He should be paying the bills. It's just the cultural way, the cultural mindset, especially we have in this part of the country, or the part of the world, not the part of the country, part of the world, where a lot of men just believe they should be the ones paying all the bills. So if a woman thinks like she's doing well, he's insecure, so he'll do anything to stifle her. His family will even encourage him to stifle her. Now, how can she talk to you like that? If you even come back from work and you just say, "I'm tired," if he was the one bringing out money and say, "I'm tired," You say, baby, go and rest. But because you are the one saying, is it because you are the one bringing money now? You cannot cook the food. What's bringing that one now? I'm talking to you, answering me back. You know, so all those things are just insecurities. If you can come from a place of understanding that he's struggling with something, it's not about you. It's not even personal. He's struggling with himself, his own insecurities, that he can't afford the things you want. You know, he wants to give you the things he thinks you should have. So you need to first be understanding, then knowing how to talk to him, basically with respect. So that's what we did with her. We had to help her see that. And we had to also help her to stop complaining. It can't be all bad. You know, it can't be all bad. Understand how he receives love. If for this man now, he just needed someone that would praise him. As I say sometimes, just cook. She said, I hate to cook sometimes. When you do cook, it will become a treat. So he comes back that day and he's expecting you not to cook. You bring out food that you cooked. It has earned you some points. You know, and with men are not like women. Women, 1 point is 1 point. If you buy me flour, 1 point. If you buy me ring, 1 point. If you buy me house, 1 point. In fact, after I finish celebrating, I collect the house key, I enter. If I enter and I see that the chair is not, it has negated the house because the chair is not the color I wanted. But men are not like that. Buy a man a Ferrari, you can frustrate him, you will never be frustrated. For that 1 year, that you have earned the 100 points together. So if you do one thing for a man, usually it will last a long time. So basically, it is also be conscious of how are you talking to him? Are you talking down at him? Why does he feel threatened? You know, does he feel carried along? Does he feel respected?
That's the last one we can take from
Some online, yes.
Business and the working class woman. It's highly business. This business is not so secure as in
Yes.
what needs to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more of let me get something.
Yes.
The secondly, she estate management. So I, as a young man, have a lot of things. So my own money gone with my kids. I'm spending together. But then she has a lot of things she's managing. I am still just a doctor. 1 year to prepare estate management. So I'm still learning. So someone I just support her with some of this. But most of the time when the money comes, I want to come to work. But you can't share. The thing is not there. Yes, it's me now. I will tell you. But I don't want, even this problem, if you spend a lot of it, but when you all come involved, I will expect them So, I observe that I feel insecure that, and as a man, we don't want to stop in that, the rest of
I want to address it.
I think you do that.
So, I don't know if you can then understand the question.
All right. Okay. Even though you said you had 2 questions, though, but it's fine. I'll take this one. The issue really is not about money, it's about her mindset. You guys are obviously not, you have communication gaps and you are not working together as one. So bridge that gap. There's a communication gap somewhere. There's a reason why she's still having a mindset of almost like if she's single. And this is why we teach couples when they want to start that you must have everything joint. When the Bible says 2 shall become 1, it means you are 1 in everything. So what happens to a lot of people is that they marry, but they still want to behave single. They don't want to adjust to the fact that, look, you are now 1. So they were both naked and they were not ashamed. That means there was nothing to hide. When you're naked, you have nothing to hide. So you guys need to work on the very root and foundation of the marriage as a whole. She needs to understand that it's not her money and she has no right to just spend without the combined, decision of the family. All right, it's very, very important. There's already a crack there. It's not showing well now because both of you are at a level. By the time both of you are billionaire level, I was telling Doctor when he came to my house yesterday that 8 out of the 9 richest men in the world are divorced. All right, 8 out of 9. So there's a correlation between money and marriage. when people have money, I've seen too many people divorce. At least I don't know if they're divorced now, but they were having an issue in their marriage, and they owned the house together. Both of them went to rent houses. It's when you have money, you can vex like that. Poor people, if you are angry, you move from one room to another room. But rich people, when you're angry, you can go and buy another house. When you're a billionaire, see, I know me. You just call a letter. Is there any house free in this neighborhood? I'm buying it tomorrow. When you're angry, you can just go tell your this and say, I'm flying to London today. This guy has arranged me. I'm going to London this night. Get me a full ticket. You see, so it's manageable now because you guys are at a level. If you guys become richer than this, it will be a threat to your marriage because she will be making more serious decisions without you. You two making more serious decisions without her. And that's how marriage divides and both of you go separate ways. So deal with the crack now that it still looks small. You know, talk to her. If you need to see a counselor, let her, somebody else to sound it. She doesn't yet understand what you are saying. You need to sound it well because once the money becomes more, she can go and buy estates if you won't be aware. Yes.
Wow. I think you should get a counselor because you might have been paying for a while, she's not listening. So encourage her to go for counseling. I think you can talk to pastor as well. We have on Zoom, says, dear essay, you have mentioned that it is more effective for couples to buy into the products, in this case land, they are promoting, advertising, and showing people, even when they may not have fully paid for it. My question, in a situation where the couple isn't financially okay to even do a down payment, how is it possible to first invest in the business? Well, you could start by marketing. I already said that if you're getting 10% commission, if you're able to go to, it's easier, people take you serious when you are couples and you're visiting them, right? I said it's easier for you to easily get 10 families to also market to. And your 10% is already now your own one plot already, or your own one house. And if it's a house, you get 5%, you get 20 people to invest, and then that takes care of your own one house. So as a couple, as a family, it's easier to market jointly. I think, like I said, a lot of businesses do well when both parties are together and everybody's putting their own part. So even if you don't apply for initial deposit, at least start marketing together as a couple. And hopefully you'll be able to, from your commission, build your own or buy your own. Our second question on Zoom, also media, says, for someone that already spent 8 years in marriage and have tried all she could to ensure the man is a saver, but all efforts have failed. Now this marriage is being wrecked daily by unreasonable spending from the man. We already have 3 kids together, so it's a bit difficult living the marriage. What can you advise?
Is your area?
Like we said, I think that she still needs to protect herself because there are children involved. Normally we would say, like I said, all things being equal, it should be joint accounts and all that. But at some point, you need to also consider the children. So I think that she needs to now, start setting aside money for the children. Maybe that's the conversation she needs to have with him, and it should be something that he can't access. So maybe a trust fund for them or something that, just protects them, because they were not a part of the I love you. They just met the two of them together. So it's unfair to have the children suffer for her bad or his bad choices rather. So I think that they need to discuss setting up a trust fund for the children. He may be a spender, but does he make money? So if he makes money, can he agree at least to give her a percentage of that for the children so she can have access to it? Also, it depends on him. If he's not agreeing, if he's agreeing, they can have a joint account where he can't sign out money without her. Yes, it has to be both to sign. So there are measures she can put in place. I don't know if she says she has done everything she can, but I don't know if there's more to be done. She may need to talk to counselor together or something so they can talk about their financial habits. But I would say protect the children. So a trust fund would be good.
Okay. And also, I have a message titled 7 Things I Badly Want to Tell Women. One of the things there is make your own
Money. Yeah,
as a woman, make your own money. If you make your money, then of course don't give him access to spend it.
That's what I'm saying.
Very simple. So make your money. It's always safer because sometimes you enter this kind of things and your whole one person destroys the whole thing. So you make your own money. If you see that he's not behaving well for the meantime, then reduce access so that you can, because children, your children's school won't hear that your husband spends money. Or landlord, every case where the woman makes money and gives the man to go and pay the rent, the rent will make it to the landlord and they'll still come and evict them. So make your own money, keep the money for your sanity and your safety.
Question 3 says, when you already have disagreement
financial intelligence,
or you don't share the same value of savings, or you don't common costs together. I don't know what you
don't have a common
yes,
cost
you don't have
together.
common cost.
When you cater together for family, especially when the two are making money together, how do you manage it?
Okay. Just decide who takes care of what. So if you guys can work together as one, decide, okay, you take care of the rent, I take care of this, or you take care of school fees, I take care of feeding money. So come up with an agreement that will work. But like I said, if the person is totally uncooperative, you need to trust God to make money. You manage money. You prove to show him. Even the case of where the man is not believing in your business, show him it can work. I learned the power of saving by my wife always having money. And many times that her money she saved rescued us from something. So I was saying that, this is your saving is helping. So I began to buy into it. So show him the benefit of your savings. By the time you rescue him once, twice, he gets it. And if he doesn't ever want to change, you start saving your own self.
I think it's similar to Vera and Gozi. What do you do as a wife if your hubby is not interested in saving for the kids or future need, but instead saving for his retirement, that insurance establishment?
Yeah, similar, yeah. You save for your own kids. See work on selling the idea to him, or pray, get a counselor, do all the things you can do naturally and supernaturally, but at the same time, still be saving for your kids since you see the benefit to it. He will come around. Sometimes be patient with people. They come around. Thank God my wife wasn't restless. It took me a while to catch up. For a few years I was reckless. So if she was asked the question that time, she would have said I was not a great guy. So sometimes one party in the relationship catches on in an area slowly. So and that's what marriage is. It's till death do us path. It's for better, for worse. We all believe for the better, but the worst is a reality also. So let's be patient. Some people catch up financially later. Some catch up emotionally later. That sometimes the man is not emotionally available at all, but as it goes, he now begins to see the benefit of being a loving man. But if you give up on him too quickly, you won't be able to be there to reap the changed person. So, yeah.
Marvel Olua Tosin Alabi on Facebook says, what if both parties are spenders? Having responsibilities from families, etc.
Yes. Immediately they should go and get a financial mentor and somebody that can help them structure and mentor them. Yes. Or else both of them will wreck. In my message, I talked about it. When two spenders marry, school fees will never be paid on time. Rent will never, they will wreck themselves. It's going to be disaster very soon. Two savers too are bad, but it's not as bad. Two savers will reach, they won't even be able to buy clothes, they won't drive, their car will be horrible, and they want to invest. Say when money come up, we'll invest again. When they have all, we'll invest again. They never eat the money at all. So it's equally bad, but it's not as bad as when two spenders, because they owe rent, owe school fees, owe everything. So they must call for help. If people don't handle it, you need to get a man. In fact, there are many people that handle, there are people that can handle your money for you. There are people that's their job. They structure money for you, give them you submit your money, and they plan it for you. There are people that do it. So find that kind of help.
This reminds me, my wife is a saver. She and the kids are on their way traveling today. I remember when I sent her money, I said, change it to dollar and snap. And change the money to dollar.
Exactly.
Because I know
she will save it.
You have to save some. Two savers is also tough. Adebayo Olajide says, thank you, sir, for this opportunity. My question is, how can someone tolerate a woman whose intention and goal is to look out financially for her family members at the expense of their joint goal? denying her of the usual looks wicked to her. How can someone handle this?
Okay, it's what we've been talking about all day. You need to have a conversation and sell the idea to her. Like I said, many people's challenge is that they get married, but they still carry their single mindset. They still think their extended family is their main family. You need to sell the idea to understand this is now your family. Me and you is the family, and you must put us first. It's only what is left over, or we must have a budget we dedicate to family, but this comes first. So sell the idea to her. All right. You see, in this case, it's not even really a bad thing. She's still trying to show love to her family. So be sympathetic to that and say, look, how much can we help your family with? You know, don't just insist on what you want. Sit with them at where they are. Okay, you want to help your family. What can reasonably, let's discuss. All right. In our own cancellations, we have our own negotiation sheets where we negotiate. So we teach a couple to negotiate. So let's discuss what is reasonable. People will likely commit to what they agree. So don't leave it to chance that when any need arises, we just respond. No. What are the usual needs? Can we plan for it? Let's also plan for our own lives. So sell the idea, take time, and be patient. Like I said, some people catch on with time. All right. Yeah.
Can I just add something? Yes. I also think that having a family policy helps. So for us, whatever you do on this side, you do on that side. So if you are saying we should give your family 200,000, we must give my own 200,000. You know, it works that way, except of course there are emergency cases, then we can make exceptions. But if that structure is in place, yes, that whatever you do on this side, we'll do on this side. You will see that sometimes it checks some people. They're like, if we're giving every time, no, this time is okay. Because whatever you do on this side, you must do on this side. It would help.
Yeah. Yes.
If you have more, you can join the, probably you can share with us their counseling programs and how you can sign up. And I think a lot of us need that, you know, to sign up. Let's do it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My wife, so having more knowledge how right now. Actually, it's better than the entire topic because there's a way I would say fish and the soup and only those products attended to plus all these colleges. Most of them are a lot of some so actually keep the same school. You asked some of the questions because I want to ask the extended family, how do you draw the lines? So where do you draw the lines? But my own twist is this. In my home, we do not allow extended family to stay with us. They can come visit. Papa hosted strangers in the house for a longer time
Than your family.
Extended family.
Okay.
On both sides. Because your family has to, my family has to, your family has to,
yeah.
You know. So I just want to know whether that's a proper way to handle things or extreme in terms of that.
The issue is why? Why do you have the policy? That's what determines whether it's good or not. Why?
Because we feel that sometimes having family stability naturally not please everybody and brings about intervention
or interference.
Or information that is just supposed to be between you and your
family. Yes.
To get to the family. And
okay.
You don't understand why you took such decision.
Yes, then that's absolutely okay. You see, there's no hard and fast rule in this case. It's your reason for doing it I'm concerned about. If you feel this sounds like a good reason for you, you know, so that's fine. Go ahead. And both of you agree. I mean, not that your wife is angry. Then enjoy. You have no problem. Both of you are in agreement. Yes, it's your life.
Okay, my name is Ijima. Thank you, Pastor King.
Yeah.
I really have this question that I've been wondering for years. At what stage in the young man life or the young lady's life that will say, I want to marry?
Oh, good
When
question.
am I ready?
That's the title of one of my first books. It's titled "When Am I Ready?" All right, so it's also out there, so you can get it. Basically, it's more about readiness, not about age. Some people are not ready at 40, some are ready at 20. So it's about readiness, maturity. What are some of the things you look out for? Clear sense of purpose, where you're going, because you need a purpose for life before you get a partner for life. All right, you need to, where you're going is what determines who can go with you. Do you understand? So if I'm going to a road that is not good, then I know I need an SUV. If I'm going to a road that is very smooth, but I need to move fast, then I need a sports car. So that's how it is. So if you look at the first marriage, it was built first for functionality. Again, that's why I said the first statement I said, don't marry who you love who you marry. The first marriage wasn't for emotional reasons. It was purely for functionality. It's not good for this man to be alone. I'll get him a suitable helper. So, hey, where am I going? And what kind of helper do I need? Okay, that's one. Secondly, what's my capacity to also be a husband? Husband means house band. It means somebody that cultivates and builds. Have you developed your capacity to build? Because when you take that woman from her parents' house, she must be better than how she was before. Can I add value to somebody? Can I build somebody? Can I cultivate somebody? All right. What is your management skills? What are your financial skills? Are you able to take care of yourself so you can add another person? Then add children. You know, so when you see those basic things, your maturity, your capacity, I listed a few things like that in the book. Once you have that in place, then you are ready. It's not really about your age. You can be 40 and not be ready. You can be 20 and be ready. All right. So it's more about readiness, you know, not necessarily your age.
Okay.
Last one.
Thank you, Pastor.
Yep.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm so grateful because I'm learning, I'm getting value. So my question is, I want to ask, let's say you're having a partner and he is a spender. Just like Mom said, if you have a joint account, you can now then help him save some money. What happens in a situation when you don't have joint account and you don't want to approach his manner of spending in a way that is kind of disrespectful? And how do you manage the situation to help him save some money?
The thing I want to say, you're going to laugh, but approach it respectfully now. Like, if you can't approach it respectfully, then approach it respectfully. But you must have that conversation. I think that people, see, I don't know how people are in relationships and can't talk. I don't understand it. If you're in a relationship with someone, you should be able to talk to the person. If you're married to someone, you have to be able to talk to them. And it starts in the relationship. So have that conversation that I'm concerned about how you spend money. Can we do this? You don't have to be rude to get your point across. But to make that point, you know, make it known. Now, if you're in a relationship, I don't expect that you have a joint account. I don't expect that. But you should at least have accountability. How much, but if you're really in a relationship that is leading to marriage, you should know how much the person is earning or if they're earning at all. You should know how they spend money.
Mm-hmm.
You should have some inside gist. Relationship is not, that's why I say I don't understand how people are in relationships and they don't talk. What else are you doing? You should be having conversations. You should be getting to know each other. You should be talking. It's in talking that you know that, oh, he spends too much, or these things he's spending this money on, it's not right. And then find a nice way, a polite way to say it. That's all. I don't think it's much deeper than that.
And if you are not married, this is the best time to clarify it. If you're already married, yes, it's a different situation. If you're not married, then, insist that you guys sort this out before you start. All right. So if he wants to be giving you some part of that money to keep or to save for him so that he starts learning it, then do so. Put a structure that helps both of you become accountable so that you can help each other develop good financial and management skills. All right.
Women don't marry a man that doesn't have a mentor or someone that he respects or fears. You need to black nothing. So make sure there are people who can call into order, that people who can say, that people can talk nonsense out of somebody's head.
Mm.
When they see, you just see that the guy sets, down to get such people. And they should, if you don't have a guy that has that, I think you should run for somebody else.
Yes.
The man will be, like same thing for the man. So make sure that people that talk to the lady and hear that she respects it and she listens. And it's very key, very, very key. So I'll allow Pastor to share how people can join the coaching or the programs we have and the books.
Yes. All right. For those abroad, our books are available on Amazon, so you can get them there. For those here, you can get our books from our website, ldmwithpk.com. So ldmwithpk.com. You can also get book schedule counseling from there and book other things. My YouTube channel is a very good resource because a lot of the things you're asking here, for instance, today, I have videos that have addressed them. Then the phone number you can always reach is +234 80 777 14412. All right. It's a good number to schedule counseling or any information. Yes, +234 80 777 14412. All right, +234 80 777 14412. All right, so, and of course, social media handles are also good to reach us if you need counseling and all this kind of help. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. We need our chair.
So I think we're done for the day. You can get some of the books outside.
Oh yes, thank you. And they need to take this out.
And
Was it on?
remember tomorrow we're not doing anything, this guy is online on Zoom. Just go to /convo/xxc. /convo/xxc. And we will have a great time just for tomorrow as well as on Sunday. Share